So the garden's finally coming along well enough to do an update video. We have 4 different sections that I'm going to show today. There's our spring garden over here, or the shadier loving stuff. And then over here we have a bit of a summer garden coming along. That's more heat and sunlight tolerant area. Back there is the chicken house, which I'll show. And then over here we have our tomatoes and cucumbers. So I'll explain those 4 different areas and why they are where they are and the plants that are there. Starting off over here with the spring area, or the shady area. So this is kind of buried behind these trees. And you can see the western sun is setting there. So what ends up happening is it gets a bit of morning light, and then it's in shade from pretty much 1:30 on. So about 5-6 hours of sunlight. So we get our shade loving stuff over here. We have carrots, which are coming in pretty good now. There's a crop of bush beans that are just starting to fruit. There's some celery doing well. This right here in the middle, these little plants are a New Zealand spinach, which is supposed to tolerate heat pretty well. My first time trying that. We'll see how it comes. I got a bit of cilantro and some lettuces tucked in here and there. There's a crop of peas coming on nice. That bushy flowery thing is cilantro that I let go to seed. I always try to let a lot of things go to seed so I can just collect the seed and sow it nice and easy that way. A good batch of parsley back there. We found that's a really good area for parsley. It gets a lot of shade, and so the parsley will survive most of the year, no problem back there. Some collards here and there, kale, various brassicas, some mustard greens, kohlrabi, a little bit of broccoli, and just various types of brassicas that are all doing pretty good. Some better than others. We're definitely harvesting enough greens for our smoothies. A little bit of beet greens and some lettuces. We have turnip back there, which we've been enjoying. A little bit of okra coming on, and some cilantro going to seed. So now I'm into the summer garden. This is the smaller stuff. Basil right here is doing really well. We haven't done much with it yet. There's a tomato coming on. And then a bunch of peppers, various bell peppers and hot peppers. They're doing pretty good. This is the exact area that I put in that sheet mulch garden for that first kind of cheeky introduction to gardening video that I made in the fall. So this is that area where we put down the cardboard and the vegetable scraps, nice and easy. And the soil underneath is doing really well. I'm really happy with it. Tons of earthworms. Up here we have some eggplants. We actually have some peppers coming on. So down there, even though it's pretty early in the summer season, these peppers have got a good head start, so they're coming on good. So lots of peppers, and by the max, or by the mid of the summer, we should be swimming in peppers and eggplants, and a bit of corn. We're trying corn for the first time. Some corn coming up. And this is cilantro again. And then back here in this third row, there's some tomatoes, some zucchini, a few watermelon that aren't really doing anything. Over here we have a bunch of strawberries that are coming in for the first year. And then a crop of potatoes. And the potatoes are curious, they're actually going to seed. I've never planted potatoes from seed before, but that is a tomato seed. Those are the flowers dying off back there. So it's a pretty cool little summer crop. I'll go show. There's Naeem talking to the neighbors. I'll go show the chicken house. It's pretty cool. Hi. So here's the chicks. We got 4 birds, 1 big red star, 2 black australorps, and 1 Plymouth Rock. So the older bird's been kind of acting as a surrogate mother. She's been doing a good job. And they're pretty chirpy because they're getting hungry. It's about time for them to go into their little house. So this is their run. And it's got this chicken poultry netting, which is pretty tough stuff. Held together with zip ties and just regular timber from the woods back here. Nice and cheap. And then I put a cardboard backing on the back up against the woods area to keep the raccoons from reaching in and grabbing arms and stuff. And that does a pretty good job. So this is pretty tight. I feel like it'll keep most things out. This is a little lever that opens and shuts their run door. So in the morning I just hit this lever and the door goes up and down. Works pretty good. And so if I open up their run, or rather their house, their coop, this is where they perch. And we've got little nipple water feeders that work pretty good. They're figuring that out pretty easy. That just lets water out when that's up. And that actually works really well. That's a gravity-fed water system. This is the bucket. So I fill that, once a week, and that goes outside and inside. They have access to water. So this is their run door. When I hit the lever, it kind of goes up and down, nice and easy. The wood's warped a bit because it's plywood, so I might try a different material at some other point. But they've got windows that are screened, and their food's in there. And yeah, they like it in there, nice and comfortable. Stays dry. It's got some shingles on top, some cedar shingles that keep it pretty dry. So yeah, those are the birds. They're happy. Should have eggs from them in the fall, we're hoping. All right, so back to the garden. A bunch of herbs leading into this little chicken area. Mint and anise and thyme. That's oregano. That's sage. Got some tarragon over there, rosemary, lemongrass, all kinds of herbs in this little area. That's Naeem. He's calling me. He wants the video to be done, so we're gonna have to wrap it up pretty quickly. But yeah, this is the summer garden. Looking at it in reverse. This is the new beds that we put in together in the fall. That quick little video. They're doing really well. I'm really happy with them. Building soil very well. Tons of earthworms. I'm really happy with that method. And this is the spring area where we do the shade loving stuff. And it's all coming out pretty good. Naeem, what would you like?
Egg.
You want egg? You hungry? Pretty soon, go play with the chickens. Oh, we have a little mulberry tree right there, actually. That's kind of cool. It's worth showing. That's just happenstance, but what's good about it is whatever mulberries we don't get, the chickens get. So it acts as a little bit of forage gathering for them. It's very helpful. Got some blackberries coming on there too. These are all wild things that we didn't plant. So that's kind of a nice bonus. And then I'll show you my favorite part right now. I'm pretty happy with this. So this is where our tomatoes and cucumbers are growing. And I put them over here because this is the hottest area of the yard. It's facing west, so it gathers that hot western sun, and that brick is like good thermal mass, so it just really retains heat well. So you end up with a very dry, hot area, which is what tomatoes love. They're a Mediterranean plant, Mediterranean loving crop. And so they're doing really well over here. We put in a ton of compost. We started this area last fall as well. And we have cucumbers growing up each of these support areas. So we have cucumbers on the sides. They're going crazy. They're going to put on a ton of fruit. We have 4 of them, one for each of these back 2 rows. And then we have probably 30 tomato plants that are strung up. And they'll kind of just vine up. You prune them to a single lead, so they kind of just go up. You know, tons of varieties. Naeem loves to play back here, likes to dig and look for worms. He's always finding them because there's tons back there. And so these are coming out really, really well. I'm really happy with the tomatoes. I'm looking at other gardens in the neighborhood, and we seem to be well ahead of everyone. I think these tomatoes are just really happy in this place. And that compost that we made last year is treating them right. So that's good. We put a ton of compost down, and it's really, really seemed to help build soil fast. So yeah, these are the cucumbers. They're doing really well. Might even be able to find one. Yeah, here's a little cucumber coming on. See? Delicious little cucumbers, cornichon at this point. And then we have lots of tomato fruit coming on too. Let's find you a tomato. Yeah, there's some tomato fruit coming on. Tons of tomatoes. Most of these are fruiting at this point. So yeah, that's the garden. Doing really, really well. We'll have some updates later in the year. Thanks for watching.